A colorful fiesta in Barrio Logan today. Hundreds of people celebrated 30 years of Chicano Park.
The park is, of course, world famous for its murals and its history. News 8's Maria Velasquez has the story.
A colorful celebration, ancient traditional blessings to honor the contributions made by the founders of Chicano Park in Barrio Logan. It is the 30th anniversary.
Chicano Park, under the Coronado Bridge. 30 years since the park was founded, taken over, and developed.
Chunky Ramon Sanchez is a folk hero. He was one of 300 local residents who demonstrated against the state government back on April 22, 1970. Residents said no to a California highway substation and successfully fought for a community park.
Definitely. I mean, this is more beautiful than a big asphalt parking lot. It has more life.
And that can be seen in the murals that adorn the park. The earliest images were painted in 1971 by local artists.
Oh, I feel good. I feel proud that I was a part of that initial thrust that got it going.
The free celebration is also a family day, which continues Easter Sunday with plenty of activities, exhibits, and food. But the annual celebration is also a reminder to young and old that they can make a difference. Maria Velasquez, KFMB News 8, Chicano Park.
Most San Diegans recognize Chicano Park as an open-air museum of murals. But for those who built it 30 years ago, the park is more than that. It symbolizes a community's struggle for recognition. As 10 News reporter Leanne Kim shows us, Chicano Park was almost a big parking lot.
Oh, Chicano Park, under the bridge.
The melody of Chicano Park is rooted in its people, those who fought for what it is today. Fighters like the late Laura Rodriguez, who some consider the mother of Chicano Park. David Rico fought alongside her.
She was willing to stand in front of a tractor. She was willing to go to jail. She was willing to do everything any of us would do. And we had a lot of respect for her.
So much so, her spirit is enshrined in the park. That's where David spends many of his days. 30 years ago, he was a Brown Beret, one of hundreds of Mexican Americans who took over this 5-acre plot of land. It was the spring of 1970 when neighbors discovered that construction workers were ordered to build a CHP substation.
The next day, we had 300 people in this park. We were picketing and we asked some guys to leave. And they left and we said, you know, we want to park here. If they're not going to give it to us, we can build it ourselves.
And so began a people's movement to build something of their own.
When I came and I saw elderly ladies, you know, out here with picks and shovels, I said to myself, you know what, this is serious.
Chunky Sanchez was 18 years old during the takeover.
It began in 1970 under the Coronado Bridge.
And for the first time, Chunky and other activists had one voice, one mission. The song is shared now by the park's second generation. Tina Camarillo is considered a child of the takeover. At the age of 2, she joined protesters with shovel in hand, as captured in this newspaper photo.
Ever since I can remember, my mom's been fighting for Chicano Park my whole life, and to be honest with you, I resented her when I was younger, and because everything was revolved around Chicano Park, but now, as I'm older, I understand what she fought for, and I understand that she fought for the community and for our people.
Located under the Coronado Bridge, Chicano Park is an urban forest of murals, each one depicting a different story and a different issue, a different chance to learn.
All these murals mean something. They mean either struggle, they mean either, and some of these are tragedies, some of these are history, some are political, some are the things that happened to us and the things that happened in our past.
It's been 30 years, but, you know, there's 30 more years coming, you know, and maybe we won't be around, but the important thing is we have to leave something for our children to carry on.
I'm proud. I'm really proud that that I was able to be here back then and that I'm still here.
With photojournalist David Villegas, Leanne Kim, 10 News.
Chicano Park turns 30 tomorrow. Throughout the weekend, the public is invited to join in the festivities, music, food, and culture.
Bueno, y en otro orden de cosas, el área de Chicano Park se viste de fiesta para celebrar el 30 aniversario de su creación. El comité del parque planea una serie de actividades para conmemorar tan especial fecha. El parque fue construido por estudiantes y residentes quienes se apropiaron de una parcela de 4 acres en 1970 para evitar que el condado construyera una estación del alguacil en ese lugar. El parque es visto como un símbolo de la victoria del movimiento chicano y un escaparate del arte por lo colorido de los murales que lo adornan.
A takeover in Barrio Logan by local activists turns Chicano Park into one of the most well-known public art sites in this country.
And this weekend, Chicano Park celebrates its 30th anniversary. And that is where our Giovanna Lara is live this morning. Good morning, Giovanna.
Good morning, Clark. That party starts tomorrow, and the theme of the 30th anniversary bash is Tierra, Liberación y Revolución. In English, that means land, liberation, and revolution. Now, the park was established in 1970, and we have some video of the park in the daytime. Now, back in 1970, it was a thrill for local Chicano activists to finally have the park because it was a struggle to get it. Now, it had been promised to the community for a long time, and then there was talk of building a CHP station here. That's when local Chicano activists said no way. They demanded the park and got it. Today it is well known for its dozens of brightly colored murals, and we'll show you those in a little bit. But right now I want to come over and talk to Ralph Sanchez. He's the leader of the Grupo Folclórico Chicano. You're going to perform for us this morning.
Yes.
But a quick question for you. What is the significance of this 30-year anniversary to you?
For me and my dance partner, 24 years, we're bringing back our children to dance. My daughter danced here when she was 5 years old, and this couple over here first danced when they were both 2.5 years old. And her brother's been driving down from Bakersfield, California for 4 weeks just to practice with us. It's going to be the most beautiful day in San Diego's history, and we're really excited for it.
All right, excellent. Why don't you show us what you're going to do?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. They are going to perform the Zapateada. It's a traditional dance from Veracruz, and they will be here this weekend. Go ahead, anytime. Again, this is Grupo Folclórico Chicano. They will be here tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We have some information for you on your screen. Again, Chicano Park Day starts tomorrow at 10 o'clock. It runs till 5. The Culture Clash will be here, as well as several other bands. There will be the Amigos Car Club is putting on or sponsoring lowriders. You can see all sorts of neat cars here. On Easter Sunday, the celebration starts at 10 and runs until 4. And several other bands will play on that day as well. Great band. Thank you very much, Ralph. Again, the 30th anniversary of Chicano Park starts tomorrow. I'll be here. It'll be a lot of fun. Lots of food, arts and crafts. It'll be a great time. Reporting live from Chicano Park, I'm Giovanna Lara. Back to you guys.
It does. It looks like a lot of fun.
Lots of enthusiasm even at this hour of the morning. Sure.
I could do this. No, I can't.
Giovanna's probably wearing the boots to do it, too.
Thanks,
All right.
Giovanna. We'll see you in a bit. A birthday party coming up this weekend. Chicano Park in Barrio Logan is turning 30. They're planning a celebration with music, food, poetry, and dance. It's all free. Ken Kramer has been watching the preparations and joins us live from the park. Hi, Ken.
Hi. Just to set the scene, Beth, Chicano Park, if you don't know where it is right under the east end of the San Diego Coronado Bay Bridge. And you take a look around here, and the first thing that strikes you are the incredible murals here going all the way up the columns supporting that bridge. This is really just an amazing display of public art here. That art was being washed today, soot from the traffic and nearby construction being hosed off, because starting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, this place is going to celebrate its 30th anniversary. They're planning a program of traditional music and dance and contemporary Latin jazz, food, arts, crafts, and a lot of looking back at what this place means to the community.
It's a celebration of people taking over its it's community destiny. In other words, this is like the People's Park in Berkeley. It almost parallels the same timeline where people were saying no to government encroachment to the community.
This little strip of land, just to give you a tiny bit of history, was taken over in 1970 by Chicano activists, and we'll talk more about that coming up on NBC 739 News at 6. We'll give you a little bit more of the history of this. Again, tomorrow, beginning at 10 o'clock, this all kicks off. It'll go from 10 to 5 tomorrow, and then on Sunday, Easter Sunday, between the hours of 10 and 4, it's all free and it should be fun. Reporting live from Barrio Logan, I'm Ken Kramer. Beth.
Thanks, Ken. Tomorrow you can take part in some of the celebrations. Events begin at 10 in the morning and continue until 5. On Easter Sunday, things get going at 10 again, ending at 4. And if you're interested, there will be an Easter egg hunt on Sunday.
A big party planned this weekend. It is the anniversary of Chicano Park. That is the park in Barrio Logan that 30 years ago was taken over by activists trying to save the plot of land. Ken Kramer is there live now with a look at what's ahead. Ken?
Well, Susan, Chicano Park is not big as parks go, but it just has a tremendous amount of significance to people who live around the area here around Barrio Logan who are ready to celebrate tomorrow all the things that this park means to them. It is many things, but especially it is a place of art. You take a look around here at Chicano Park and you see everywhere the columns that are holding up the San Diego side of the San Diego Coronado Bay Bridge. These murals are paintings of the past and present struggle of Mexican and Chicano history. Tomorrow and Sunday, this place will celebrate what the park is now and what there was here before the park.
It was one of the biggest neighborhoods, Mexican neighborhoods, north of the border, so it was like a real important communication point.
It's historically known, and it's like a pride for the people. And it is like sacred ground. It is our sacred ground.
And on this area here, this narrow little strip of land that is Chicano Park, there will be tomorrow a real celebration. There will be poetry, there'll be music, there'll be dance, there'll be Latin music, just a whole variety of activities, including lots of food. And it's all free, and it gets underway beginning at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, will last until 5. And then on Sunday, it'll be between 10 and 4. So it should be a lot of fun indeed. Reporting live from Barrio Logan and Chicano Park, I'm Ken Kramer. Susan.
An anniversary this weekend, Chicano Park is turning 30. Ken Kramer is live in Barrio Logan, where a lot of people have very clear memories and strong feelings about what the park means. Hi, Ken.
It is certainly true, and as we stand here under the San Diego side of the San Diego Coronado Bay Bridge, this place here, Chicano Park, this very narrow strip of land, is about to turn 30 years of age. There's a lot of history here and very powerful feelings in this community for this place, which is so very special and important.
Those who love Chicano Park say it really is special.
This is respected, and it does feel like holy ground to most people.
They say paintings here tell the story of how this used to be a residential area, but was then rezoned commercial. Neighborhoods were destroyed, and in a 1970 protest, Chicano activists occupied this small remaining area under the bridge and declared it a park.
Instead of acting violently and resistance-wise, we created murals, artwork. Art is a healer. Art is a healer. It's one of the greatest healing forces that we know.
This park and its artwork became a symbol, and the community has been fiercely protective of it.
Because we've had weddings here, baptisms here, gatherings here after funerals.
Without anybody having to say it, it was just understood you respect this place. In fact, there was an outcry when Caltrans wanted to go in and earthquake retrofit these columns and cover over the murals. Neither is there much gang graffiti or vandalism, and much of the park planting and maintenance is done by volunteers.
It's our place. It's something that we did with our own hands and with our own spirit. And I think you can't ever take that away.
A feeling that's just as strong here now as it was 30 years ago.
Back live now in Barrio Logan. Earlier, you could see, if you were here, you could see that they were sort of hosing down all of the murals here so that they would look particularly good tomorrow. Celebration gets underway at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's free. It's open to the public. There is lots of food and activities, and there'll be Latin music and all kinds of things going on here. It'll last until 5 o'clock tomorrow night, and then come Sunday, that's right, Sunday it'll go from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock. So it's going to be a very festive anniversary weekend here at Chicano Park, and a lot of memories of this place. Reporting live from Barrio Logan, I'm Ken Kramer.
You bet. A big party out there this weekend. Thanks, Ken. And tonight at 11, Ken Kramer will take us through the drama that led to the creation of Chicano Park and a look back 30 years at the area before Chicano Park existed. That's in Ken Kramer's About San Diego report tonight at 11.
A whole other kind of event going on in San Diego. It's happy 30th birthday this weekend to Chicano Park. It was a dramatic moment in San Diego history in 1970 when dozens of activists took over a plot of land in Barrio Logan. In tonight's About San Diego, Ken Kramer takes us back.
This is what most people see of Chicano Park, murals. If you want to know what this park is all about, just look around.
And a lot of the stories are even told within the murals themselves.
Among the political statements, there's also history about how heavy industry, scrapyards, freeways, and finally the Coronado Bridge cut apart the neighborhood that used to be right here. Homes and little businesses. It was, before all the commercial and Caltrans development, the Barrio Logan that Tommy Camarillo remembers.
And the people said, well, you know, that's enough. You know, enough is enough.
The whole character of their community gone, they'd been hoping at least for a city park under the bridge pillars near Crosby Street. Instead, workers started building a highway patrol station. It was the last straw.
Some of us just stood right in front of the bulldozers and the tractors and wouldn't move.
Joining hands, singing, planting trees. Despite police warnings, they refused to go anywhere.
And it went on like that for 4 days and 4 nights. All kinds of people, brown berets, students from San Diego State and City College, who in effect occupied this land here until negotiations began.
They won their point and eventually their park.
It's a great victory. It was a great victory to us.
Whatever you think of this place today, its politics, its murals, know that it is also about the Barrio Logan that used to be, where people lived and shopped and raised their families, all gone now. On its 30th birthday, that too is worth remembering about Chicano Park and about San Diego. Ken Kramer, NBC 739.
Chicano Park's 30th anniversary celebration begins at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to feature music, food, art, and poetry, and it is all free.
Today's events in Miami have many Mexican Americans questioning the case. They wonder if the situation would have been handled the same if the child was from Mexico. Fox 6 News reporter Cindy Caesar spoke with the Chicano community to find out.
The music was beating the sounds of unity today at the 30th anniversary of San Diego's Chicano Park. Libertad Ayala is a volunteer for La Raza Unida, a Mexican-American civil rights organization. Fittingly, her first name means liberty in English. She believes that if Elian was from Mexico, then it wouldn't be an international news story.
No, I definitely don't think it would be the same. I think the child would have been deported or extradited or taken back, whatever you want to call it, back to the country immediately.
People in the Mexican-American community believe that what they and their families had to overcome to live in the United States is different than what Cubans had to overcome, and that the Elian Gonzalez case is purely political.
Cuba is a communist or socialist country that has a lot to do with it, and the tensions that the United States has against Cuba definitely had to play with it.
Rene Llamas is protective of his godchildren, Juan and Adriana, and he realizes the bond between a father and son. But he believes that if Elian were Mexican, one thing would remain the same.
I think overall, they still would have been the community support that the Cubans had. You would have seen that as well with Mexicans.
The desire of the American dream bonds many Mexicans and Cubans, but many people say that the Elian Gonzalez case was just political. Cindy Caesar, Fox 6 News.
Mexican Americans did have a reason to celebrate today at Chicano Park. It was 30 years ago that local Chicano activists demanded a local spot to show public murals of Mexican and Chicano history. The park is located off Interstate 5 under the San Diego Coronado Bridge. Members of the park steering committee say it's more than just a park, it's a place of art and a site of struggle.
It wasn't handed to us on a silver platter, and we had to actually lay down our lives to get Chicano Park.
The festivities continue tomorrow with an Easter Mass and Easter activities for children. festival is free and open to the public.
A colorful fiesta in Barrio Logan today. Hundreds of people celebrated 30 years of Chicano Park.
The park is, of course, world famous for its murals and its history. News 8's Maria Velasquez has the story.
A colorful celebration, ancient traditional blessings to honor the contributions made by the founders of Chicano Park in Barrio Logan. It is the 30th anniversary.
Chicano Park, under the Coronado Bridge. 30 years since the park was founded, taken over, and developed.
Chunky Ramon Sanchez is a folk hero. He was one of 300 local residents who demonstrated against the state government back on April 22, 1970. Residents said no to a California highway substation and successfully fought for a community park.
Definitely. I mean, this is more beautiful than a big asphalt parking lot. It has more life.
And that can be seen in the murals that adorn the park. The earliest images were painted in 1971 by local artists.
Oh, I feel good. I feel proud that I was a part of that initial thrust that got it going.
The free celebration is also a family day, which continues Easter Sunday with plenty of activities, exhibits, and food. But the annual celebration is also a reminder to young and old that they can make a difference. Maria Velasquez, KFMB News 8, Chicano Park.
It is a festive celebration attracting thousands to Chicano Park this weekend. Residents of Logan Heights and all over that area joining in a two-day celebration.
It's the 30th anniversary of Chicano Park. 10 News reporter Elsa Sevilla has more on today's festivities.
It's a celebration of culture, heritage, and lots of music. Thousands came together to celebrate Chicano Park's 30th anniversary with traditional tunes and great food. Chacha and Lee Miller are enjoying the view from the car display section.
It's a good feeling for me. It's really wonderful. I feel, I feel empowered that we had the chance to be here.
They've been coming to the park since its opening 3 decades ago. Meantime, Ramon Sanchez, or Chunky to his friends, was among those who helped bring the park to Logan Heights.
What was done here 30 years ago could be done anywhere else if the people are determined and persistent to their cause.
The California Highway Patrol substation was slated for the land, but 12 days of protest gave Logan Heights residents what they wanted. As the celebration continues, Chacha and her husband plan on passing the traditions on to their kids.
In many ways, we're showing our youth the unity, and that's a good feeling for me.
People just keep showing up. About 10,000 are expected for the weekend celebration. With photojournalist Bill Montague, Elsa Sevilla, 10 News, Logan Heights.
The anniversary celebration continues tomorrow at Chicano Park from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Park, it's turning 30, so the park supporters are throwing a big bash, and everyone in San Diego is invited. The park is located in the heart of Barrio Logan under the Coronado Bridge. Our Lynn Storr takes a look.
One of San Diego's most loved parks turns 30, so they're throwing a party.
This is the only park that's representative of the Chicano community.
Chicano Park is filled with revelers. They're cooking up homemade food, kicking up their heels, as well as showing off their arts and crafts.
We just love being here, seeing everybody, and enjoying the atmosphere.
Today's celebration is about a lot more than just eating and having a good time. It's about remembering Chicano history and celebrating their culture.
It has more meaning today than it has ever meant.
This park has special meaning to Salvador Torres. 30 years ago, he was one of the protesters that demanded the city turn this spot into a park rather than developing it like they had planned.
Being here today makes me feel very respectful for what everybody has done to contribute to the growth of this park.
He's most proud of the murals on the walls that tell the Chicano people's history, preserved so the next generation will remember where they came from.
The artwork that we have here in Chicano Park represents our history, represents our past, our present, and our future.
He says today's festivities are a simple reminder that some things are worth fighting for. Lynn Stewart, NBC 739.
The party continues tomorrow. There will be more live music, dancing, and an Easter egg hunt for the kids. The festivities begin at 10 a.m. and continue till 4 at Chicano Park.
Good morning and welcome back to the KUSI Morning News.
Yeah, a lot of things going on this morning. One of them is happening over at Chicano Park, and this is boy, they've been doing this for a long time, Tracy, haven't they?
They certainly have, Dan. This event has been going on for 30 years, as long as Chicano Park has been such an institution in this part of San Diego, and they do this every year to honor the park, to show the park the respect that it deserves. You know, this park has come as a result of a long fight on the part of Latinos in the San Diego area. 30 years ago, this park was slated to become a parking lot for the CHP, but community activists held protests here, and they were able to get this land converted to a park. They worked very hard every year to keep the park looking good. As a matter of fact, we hear a lot of people that live in the community come out here regularly and tend to the park on their own, even though they are not required to do so. We see families showing up right now, a lot of folks coming down from the Los Angeles area today to take part in the festival that's going to begin at 10 o'clock. Many booths being set up. There's going to be some Aztec dancers. And, of course, the Elian Gonzalez trauma that unfolded in Miami this morning has been a topic of conversation. A lot of people have a lot of opinions out here since this has been such a hot issue for everyone, but in particular in the Latino community. Joining me this morning is Tina Camarillo. She is one of the organizers. Tina, first of all, before we get to the history of Chicano Park and the importance of today's festival, we were talking a little bit about Elian Gonzalez and what happened this morning. You have an opinion about what happened. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the way they went about it was totally wrong. Sure, he should be reunited with his father, but the way they went about it, it was just ridiculous. And that's all I really have to say about that issue.
Let's talk about Chicano Park and why you folks are holding this event today. This is kind of honoring what this park means to the community. What does it mean to the community?
It's pride. It's something we have to celebrate today because 30 years ago, I was only 2 back then, but my mom is the chairperson right now of the Chicano Park Steering Committee, and they fought, and our people fought for something that we believed in. And this is what we have to show for it, a beautiful park, and we get together and celebrate every year for the anniversary of the park.
What can we expect in terms of the event today? A lot of things going on. If people come down here at 10 o'clock, what will they experience?
You'll experience dancers, different kinds of food, and Mexican dancers, the ballets, flag raising, different MCs, Culture Clash will be here also. And also tomorrow we're having for the children a Easter egg hunt and raffle, and everything will be free to the children.
Important to point out this is a 2-day event.
Right.
Okay, Tina, thank you so much. We're going to move over here. Josie from Sacramento has come down. She is one of the original founders of Chicano Park. Good morning, Josie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us to take this wonderful opportunity to show these beautiful murals.
Tell me a little bit about 30 years ago, what you went through and other members of the community went through to get this park put here.
Basically, what happened is we had to fight. We didn't have a total understanding of what community development organizations did. And so when they came in to take the park, we formed human chains, and we just basically stopped the workload. You have to understand that at one time, this was the second oldest barrio on the West Coast. There was more than 20,000 residents here. And the city was not really happy with that amount of a congregation of Mexican people. This is a military retirement city. It's on the border between Mexico and the United States. And so I'm sure, were viewed as a negative force at that time. My brothers growing up here experienced military-style interrogations every time they walked out the house, and we live 1 block away. So when they put the freeway through, that was the first assault, because the initial intention was to go around the old 101 and bypass this. They walked right through here and displaced thousands and thousands of people.
In the middle of a park, you do not expect to see a freeway by any means. It's just right over our heads, but we have to really give a lot of credit to what has been done to beautify the park in the midst of such a busy freeway. We see the murals that have gone up all over the place.
What you do is you take something ugly that was placed upon us, and then you make it beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of Chicano Park. The people came and organized and affirmed their commitment to this neighborhood, and people from all over the Southwest joined. I mean, you have murals here from people like Felipe Adame, who's from Texas. You have the Royal Chicano Air Force from Sacramento. You have Gato Felix from the murals and the housing projects in Los Angeles. You have muralists like Michael Schnorr, educator at Southwest College. You have muralists that are like underneath the kiosco right here. Oh, and the kiosco. This city did not want to deal with that design.
At the same time, we're talking about the murals. We should also point out that the fight 30 years ago did not end. Several years ago, when we went through earthquake retroing along some of these posts, there was some talk about taking the murals down, and the fight had to kind of resume at that point.
Well, I think what you need to understand is that we're working to try to get the site recognized as a national treasure. If we had national treasure designation under the cultural historical significance, which is a category of a site that's less than 50 years old, then the effort to come in and retrofit these bridges would have had to deal with Federal Regulations 106. When Wilson said we're retrofitting bridges, he had no concept of what's going on here. He sent a gentleman from Caltrans, and the orders were stop and look at graffiti on walls. And luckily, the gentleman was aware of Rupert Garcia's work, who's a nationally recognized artist, and got here. And by the way, when they sent him down from Sacramento, they told him they were just driving by because this place was too dangerous to deal with. And when he got here, he says,
"This isn't graffiti.
This is not
artwork."
graffiti on walls. This is nationally recognized artists that are doing wonderful work here." So, I mean, you have a treasure here. It was amazing. The other day, I was looking at books. You know, Sacramento does a book. San Diego does this wonderful, beautiful bind book of all the treasures. I looked through it. Not one photograph of Chicano Park.
But you are trying to change that, and hopefully you will. Thank you so much, Josie. Dan and Christine, we're going to toss it back to you. Coming up in the next hour, we have another group of folks over here, actually Arthur and another gentleman who have come down from Long Beach. We're going to be talking to them about why they wanted to come down to this celebration. We're also going to get their opinions on the Elian Gonzalez story. But for right now, we're going to toss it back to you in the studio.
All right, Tracy, you know, I've never seen that before, and that is very, very cool.
It shows you the ingenuity, I think, of people. You know, you take something and you make it beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. That is very, very impressive stuff. We'll check with you in a little bit. See you later.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the KUSI Morning News. Good morning. I'm Tracy Martinez. We're live at Chicano Park, getting ready for the Chicano Park 30th anniversary celebration. This event is really beginning at about 10 o'clock. There will be an opening ceremony. You saw that gentleman dressed up as an Aztec Indian. He will be blessing the festival. There will also be other people here from the Aztec community, or rather representing the Aztec community, some Aztec dancers. As a matter of fact, we're hearing the largest Aztec dancing group in the country will be here performing. We've also got a bunch of booths out here, crafts by Amistad. These folks have come all the way down from Bakersfield. They're here to display some of their crafts. They've got some Spanish books over there, bilingual books. They've also got some pictures of some important Latino figures in our community. And Ava, you drove down here from Bakersfield. Good morning. Tell us, first of all, why did you want to be here?
Good morning. We have been coming to Chicano Park for 25 years.
You were telling me one of your daughters basically grew up.
Well, my daughter and my son grew up here in Chicano Park. Basically, every year we come and they run loose out here, enjoying the festivities and meeting people. We have old friends here that are like family. That's what brings us here. And to spread the culture, share books, bilingual books that we've been able to acquire, and make it a positive experience for everyone.
Right, and some of the things that you have are crafts, pictures of different people within our community that have been important historically. Got a number of books that you were showing me a little bit earlier today, children's books. Very, very important. You're a school teacher, and you were talking about the lack of Spanish language books for children, particularly books that are written by Latino authors.
Yes, we have been in the past, because I am an educator, I'm aware of what's out there in the market. We have been lacking bilingual books that depict our culture in a positive manner. now we have authors and illustrators that are bringing out books that have to do with our culture, that are becoming very positive for our children to grow up with.
We were also talking about Elian Gonzalez a little bit earlier. This is a hot topic today nationally. It has been a hot topic across the country, particularly important in the Latino community. Hearing a lot of people saying that they think that Elian should have been with his father, not quite sure about the means in which he was taken this morning. You have an opinion about it?
Yes, it's international politics at its best, and so everybody has to be really cautious about it. But as a mother, I think Elian should have been quickly reunited with his father, and then meet amicably with the rest of the family that Elian didn't know and has been with for the last, I don't know what, 6 weeks. And we made it a more positive encounter with the families to make the transition, or to have Elian's dad decide, hey, you know, we're going back to Cuba and we'll be visiting or whatever.
It seems as though there were attempts to have that done. It seems as though that there was a lot of negotiation going on. In fact, I heard Janet Reno this morning in a press conference saying that they had been on the phone prior to having the agents come in and seize him, and that they just reached a point where they couldn't negotiate any longer. In light of that, is there any other way that this could have been done better?
Oh, definitely. I think when the relatives here in the United States should have contacted or had some immediate contact with the dad and decided what was going to happen. You come over here and let's talk about it. Let's see what's best for Elian. Not make it a political, I don't know, arena where,
right.
It's just
where the child
politics.
basically becomes a pawn.
Right. I think the child has been exposed to enough harm by parading around, and it should stop.
Ava, thank you so much. A lot of opinions, Dan and Christine, as you can hear out here. This is, of course, a celebration, a positive thing that's going on in the community, but there's really no way to get away from the conversations that are bound to take place here about the fate of Elian Gonzalez.
Well, Tracy, certainly that's pretty much the sentiment of people emailing us, that they are happy that the child is going to be reunited with his father and has been reunited with his dad, but the means in which they did it, it's just unacceptable to many people with the machine guns, tear gas, all of that.
I don't think anybody could have looked at that video. I had felt as well on a personal note that Elian should be reunited with his father, but I have to admit, when I saw the video this morning of him being removed, it is very traumatic video, and it was upsetting.
It's a tough way to get your family back together,
exactly.
That's for sure. All right. Tracy, we'll see you later. Have a good one.
An important San Diego landmark turned 30 today. Up to 10,000 people will crowd into Chicano Park over the next 2 days. KOC's Tracy Martinez has the story.
Tucked into a tiny corner of the city, Chicano Park is a pleasant surprise, an unexpected piece of beauty amidst the cold, hard concrete of urban sprawl.
This is the land that we fought for in 1970.
A battle fought and won when Tina Camarillo was just a child.
They wanted to put a highway patrol substation here, and the community wanted a park for the children.
So residents literally stopped construction plans in their tracks by forming a human chain around bulldozers. Then they brought their own crews in, equipped with shovels, and began building this park that still stands today. Josie Talamantes was one of them.
We didn't have an option. We created ourselves. They didn't offer us an option.
So the grass, plaza, and playground sprung up around Interstate 5 underneath the Coronado Bridge. Not necessarily the most ideal location for a park, but residents made the most of it, even turning the freeway's ugly concrete pillars into beautiful works of art.
And if you guys look at the top, it has Chicanas of all different perspectives. It has mothers, grandmothers.
Mario Terrero is one of the painters whose talents are on display.
The bridge was something that smashed us, that was moving us aside. But we made it our own. We took it over.
After all the hard work, it's not surprising that the 30th anniversary of Chicano Park is celebrated with a huge festival that draws up to 10,000 people from all over the Southwest.
I think it brings us a lot closer together, the Hispanic people.
Ruben Moreno, raised in Logan Heights, can certainly speak on what these 7 acres mean. As a park and recreation worker, he has come back to the neighborhood he loves in order to keep Chicano Park clean. It is a battle he wages daily with the help of many residents who still exercise their activism by volunteering.
The fight for Chicano Park continues today. There is a push to have this area declared a national landmark. The goal is not only to preserve this area, but also to honor this important part of Latino history. In San Diego, I'm Tracy Martinez, KUSI News.
Good night, but before we go, here's one last look at the sights and sounds of Chicano Park.
Nothing but the best.
Nuestra raíz indígena.
California, Texas y todas las Américas. Y ahora andamos divididos. Muchas gracias.
An important San Diego landmark turned 30 this weekend. Up to 10,000 people will crowd into Chicano Park this weekend. KUSI's Tracy Martinez shows us why.
Tucked into a tiny corner of the city, Chicano Park is a pleasant surprise, an unexpected piece of beauty amidst the cold, hard concrete of urban sprawl.
This is the land that we fought for in 1970.
A battle fought and won when Tina Camarillo was just a child.
They wanted to put a highway patrol substation here, and the community wanted a park for the children.
So residents literally stopped construction plans in their tracks by forming a human chain around bulldozers. Then they brought their own crews in, equipped with shovels, and began building this park that still stands today. Josie Talamantes was one of them.
We didn't have an option. We created ourselves. They didn't offer us an option.
So the grass, plaza, and playground sprung up around Interstate 5 underneath the Coronado Bridge. Not necessarily the most ideal location for a park, but residents made the most of it, even turning the freeway's ugly concrete pillars into beautiful works of art.
And if you guys look at the top, it has Chicanas of all different perspectives. It has mothers, grandmothers.
Mario Terrero is one of the painters whose talents are on display.
The bridge was something that smashed us, that was moving us aside, but we made it our own. We took it over.
After all the hard work, it's not surprising that the 30th anniversary of Chicano Park is celebrated with a huge festival that draws up to 10,000 people from all over the Southwest.
I think it brings us a lot closer together, the Hispanic people.
Ruben Moreno, raised in Logan Heights, can certainly speak on what these 7 acres mean. As a park and recreation worker, he has come back to the neighborhood he loves in order to keep Chicano Park clean. It is a battle he wages daily with the help of many residents who still exercise their activism by volunteering.
The fight for Chicano Park continues today. There is a push to have this area declared a national landmark. The goal is not only to preserve this area, but also to honor this important part of Latino history. In San Diego, I'm Tracy Martinez, KUSI News.
Plenty of hard work to keep the park going.
Yes, that's an awesome park out there.
Very colorful indeed.
A lot of artwork, a lot of history.
Okay.
All right, Sandra.
Thanks, Sandra.